Hello everybody, it's the 20th of October today, and some of you may know I'm just getting over a bout of COVID. And what do when you're feeling a bit sorry for yourself? You have to go out and do a bit of retail therapy. In this case, well, it's not actually a tree, it's a large shrub. It's a New Zealand privet, a Grissolinia, which I paid £5.99 for. It's an evergreen shrub, and maximum height 8 meters, so it's fairly tall for a shrub, and a maximum spread of 6 meters. It flowers in April to May, although whether I'll get any next year, I'm going to be cutting this back relatively hard, so possibly not. But yeah, I decided to do a little bit of retail therapy. This has got an interesting trunk, an interesting bit of movement, and I've also got a bonsai pot that I had was given to me for Father's Day, which here in the UK is in June. I think it's different in different places. I've already put some drainage screens in the bottom, and yes, I'm going to put this tree in that pot in vain hope that it might make me feel a bit better. At the moment I've got no sense of smell and no sense of taste. If you've watched any of my what I got for Christmas videos in the past, you'll know that I'm a huge fan of Alice Cooper. So some people would say I never had any taste in the first place, but of course they would just be very rude. Anyway, let's see if we can get this tree out of this pot and get some of this, whatever it is, gaki soil off these roots so that I can get it into a pot. So I'm going to use the potting tray to try and keep the mess to a little bit contained. Got a fairly good root spread, but we'll see how much we have left. We have some interesting radial roots at the top here. Quite juvenile roots, in fact. So sadly, I don't have any of my vine weevil mix of nematodes. I've used it all up. Doesn't appear to be any vine weevil in this, but the very next time I buy in a plant and I buy in some vine weevils, well, won't be the first time, but never mind. I will be treating again come spring to try and catch any leftover weevils, so we will see. Okay, so I think that's got rid of most of the soil. I'm not too fussed about it being bare rooted. Although it is October, the forecast for the next little while is relatively mild. So I'm just going to take off a little bit from the bottom that will prevent me from getting this to lay flat, and that big chunky root there. And I think that will about do it for this first root prune. I actually like this as the front. It's got a nice bit of movement. So yeah, so that's going to be the front of my tree. Before I go any further, I'm going to shorten the tree slightly, just to make it a little bit less top heavy. That'll just make getting it in the pot and everything else a little bit easier. I can see, for example, I have a branch crossing over and behind another one here, and I'm going to take out the lower, thicker one in favour of the thinner one. That's better. And I think I want to take out that centre as well and open up the centre of the tree, so I'm going to take out that big piece like so, and shorten that because it's just very long, very straight and very boring. Okay, that already makes the tree more easily handled, less likely to fall over in the pot. I'm gonna remove this piece that's going up and into this branch, so again I'm just kind of opening it out and creating what when they talk about pruning apple trees, they talk about creating a goblet shape, and this tree is going to be a kind of leaning broom. Take that off, I don't like that in the middle there. That's better. This back piece, I'm going to lose a big chunk there in favour of these outer facing branches. Again, we've got some crossing branches. This is an evergreen tree, so it will sit and look at me like this all winter, so I want to be sure that I've made it look nice so that it doesn't offend mine eye, as they say. I'm not happy about these branches that are almost mirroring one another. In fact, I'm going to take out that central piece there. And that piece there. Okay. Yes, that's better. Okay, let's see if we can get it into a pot. So I've removed quite a lot of the top, so I probably will have lost all flowers next spring, but that is always the spring afterwards. But I've also lost a lot of root, so it balances. So the pot itself is a little bit oversized for this tree, but that's okay. I'm just going to treat it as if it's a training pot, giving the tree scope to develop. And as I say, I think this is going to be my front, and I'm going to place it slightly to the left, but not much, and yeah, I think that'll look okay. It's got a long way to go to be a great bonsai, and it may indeed never be a great bonsai, but that's not really what my channel's all about. My channel's about my trees making me happy, and if they make you guys happy or inspire you or make you think I could try that or do better, then that's cool too. I'm using my usual mix of cat litter, potting grit and organic compost mix, usually whatever I can get my hands on. Sometimes it's homemade compost. In this case it's a bag of multi-purpose compost with some extra chunky bits in, and I find that works well for most trees. If you want the exact proportions, I'll put a link in the description to one of my videos where I talk quite a lot about the potting mix, so rather than bore you with it here, you can go and find it there, as it were. Is that about where I want it? I think so. It's set slightly back. The roots are nicely radial. Trunk line a little bit and a little bit that way. Okay, onwards. Give it a little wiggle. That helps to make sure that the soil is getting in good contact with all those roots. Because I didn't completely bare root it, there isn't much in the way of voids there. And yay, the sun is trying to shine. I'm going to take that as a good omen for this tree. Okay, I'm actually going to try and lift it ever so slightly. That's better. Okay. Perfect. Well, alright, not perfect, but more interesting than it was. I'm going to put a little piece of wire here and there and just move some of these branches, which are quite soft and delicate, so shouldn't take much in the way of wiring. Before I do that, however, I am going to give it a good watering in. This is where I have to watch out that as it runs out of the bottom of the pot, it doesn't dribble all down my leg. There it goes, washing out a lot of that dust with it. Okay, so I'm going to try and wire these two branches at the same time, if I can. Tuck that in behind the trunk. I'm using quite a thick wire. I'm not going to wrap it tightly. Careful not to trap the foliage. That's better. I only want a kind of subtle bend. I don't want a terrible 90-degree curve. Okay, so if I can bring that one back and out a little, just to create a little bit of 3D-ness, and this one down and out a little. Still looking a little bit long, in fact. I'm going to shorten that. That's better. This piece I'm not happy with either. Too long and too straight. I'm going to put, I can find a suitable piece. A little piece on this branch and just secure the end there. As I've said many times, don't look to me for your wiring tips. My wiring is down and dirty, but it does indeed get the job done. Okay, so that's better. I'm happy with almost all of it, except this piece now. which I'm just going to shorten. Too long and too straight. I may in the future remove it entirely. Or may I? No, I'm going to remove it now. I don't actually like it. This one's fairly straight, but I can live with it. This piece, not so much. Okay, so an unusual species for bonsai, I think, Grisselinia. I had a quick Google but couldn't see anything about them. I think this has some potential and some interest, and as I say, I bought it to cheer myself up, make myself feel a little better, and it's already done that. I didn't have any controlled release fertilizer to add to the pot either, so I'll have to remember to add something come the spring once it gets growing. But all in all, not too terrible, I don't think. There's the can, the scale, and then we'll give you a quick 360. I happen to know, because the label was left on, that this pot was $14.99. So, and the tree was $5.99, and I guess you could talk pennies for the compost by the time you've calculated how much I've used compared to a bag of the cat litter and everything. So let's call it £25. And I'd say I'd already had £25 worth of fun. So there you have it. Do all the usual YouTube things, the liking, the subscribing, the commenting below. But most of all, please stay safe, everybody.